question is this: how bad is it going to be? How bad is it going to be with all the thing that Trump is talking about? What is he talking about? We have Gaza, we have Canada, we have Greenland, we have Mexico, we have the tariff. I mean, take your pick. The thing is that it's sucking the energy from the room. Is it good? Is it bad? We're going to find out soon enough. So, what we're going to do is, I'm going to take you diligently through all the things that you should know, the facts that you should know in order to make a decision. Right? You don't listen to people. You don't decide, oh my God, I should do this, I should do that. No, 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 no. Before you making a decision, you need to understand what is going on. That is the most important. The most important thing is to know what the heck is going on in this market. So, what is going on? Let me show you, first of all, let us really understand the implication of the tariffs. That is the most important thing first. But before we go there, let's go back in the past. Let's go back to 1890. Let's go back to 1890, and let's have a discussion with Chat GPT, and let's have a discussion with the McKinley tariff of 1980, right? So let's have a discussion with Chat GPT to think what he or she thinks is really going on. Okay, everyone. So let's go there. What we have is the McKinley tariffs of 1980, as you could see, which was a protectionist trade measure passed by the U.S. Congress under President Benjamin Harrison and authored by the Representative McKinley, and it significantly raised tariff rates to imported goods on average of 48.4%. Now remember, this is 48.4%. In the 30s, it went down to 17%, but this was like the big one, right? So, what were the key features? They had high protective tariffs, which raised duties on foreign goods. Okay, the same way that he wants to do on sugar and blah 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 to protect American industry. Of course, it allowed the company to lower tariffs or imports from countries that reduced their tariff of U.S. goods. And does it sound familiar? And impact on agriculture, raised tariffs on agriculture product, but also led to higher consumer prices, which hurt farmers, which rely on imports. And the effect on sugar, eliminated tariffs on raw sugar while granting subsidy to domestic sugar producers. What were the impact? Well, short-term economic growth. So there was some growth. Now remember, this was 48%. I don't think he's going that far. There was some short-term economic growth. There was high consumer prices. The public, especially farmers and laborers, faced increased prices for goods. Republican political losses and repeal and modification reduced in 1894. They reduced some of the high rates established by the McKinley tariffs. Overall, it was a defining example. You're going to get both. You're going to get inflation and you're going to get growth. The point is, what's going to happen? In fact, today they spoke to Chairman Powell and they asked him, "Hey, what do you think is going to happen?" Obviously, he's not going to say it's a bad idea, but he says, "Yes, we'll see. We'll see the impact." The Fed chair. He didn't say automatically inflation. He said, "We shall see how it gets implemented." The devils is going to be in the details. Remember that the devil is going to be in the details and how it gets implemented, and how fast, and what they say and what they do. There's no way anyone can tell you what's going to happen. At least you should know that. You should know that you may not know what's going to happen until later on. So obviously, because we don't know, the pundits on one hand are going to tell you, "Oh my God, look what he's doing to this economy. This is horrible," and the other one are going to say it's going to work. We don't know. But if you look at historically, well, we had some growth and we had some inflation. You had both. Okay. And again, it was 48% tariffs. I don't think he's looking that high. He's basically looking at around 17, 15%, if all blended. So we but still we're going back to the 30s in terms. So it is significant. Okay. It's not 48%. Let's take a look and see how much inflation we do have right now as measured by true inflation. What's going on with inflation right now? This is what inflation as measured by true inflation. I mean, this is not the Fed, but they're basically using lots and lots of information to see what's really going on. And I will, say that inflation is on its way down. And that's basically what the Fed was kind of saying all along. And that's why he was about to, lower the rates because inflation was starting to go down. Unfortunately, after he said that, there was some concern, there was some numbers, and he kind of hedged himself. And I think he was seeing ahead of time the thing with the tariffs and the concern, and maybe there's some politically driven. But essentially, what did he do? He just kind of, let's just relax and let's not cut as many time that we took a hit on the portfolio because of that. But inflation, frankly, is on its way down. Okay, it's not going up as we could see, and Trueflation uses a tremendous amount of data to measure this kind of thing. So we have that under control. Next, this is a shares of Chinese imports in the U.S. We're exporting less. They're exporting less and less and less towards us. Well, we are we're getting less Chinese imports. Okay, U.S. imports by category. That's what it looks like. So I mean, we don't rely too much on the imports. I mean the Chinese imports into the U.S. Okay, I mean they're coming from them to us, but the number is down, so there's not such a big deal to really worry about. Okay, so I'm not seeing a big, humongous amount of concern about, oh, what are we going to do? They're going to hit us hard. It's not such a big impact. In fact, at the end of the day, if you look at Canada, you look at Mexico, and it's on its way down. I mean, Mexico is a big deal, but even if we don't, that's not going to be such a big impact. Let me show. US imports from China have declined and Mexicans have risen. So basically, we're doing less and less. Yes, we're doing some business with Mexico, but they need us more than we need them. So this is not such a big day. That's such a big deal. Canada, kind of the same thing. Look, China, Canada make up roughly 50% of US import vehicle. It is not such a big deal. Um, Look, trade share of GDP higher for Mexico and Canada compared to US and China. So it's really between a now look at this. Historically, the US, China was main trading partner with most country in the world, and now it's mostly trading with China. Okay. So what you should be worried about, it's not so much that if they don't do business with us or we're going to be charged, it's going to hurt us. I think what you need to worry about is that, well, if everybody start doing business with China and they don't do business with us, that's going to hurt us. That's going to hurt the US. That is how you have to think about. You have to think about how much business are we losing overseas.